Good evening. Being a sports fan is fun. Being a Pistons fan is tough, especially if you're my age and you weren't old enough to remember 2003. The 03 and 04 seasons, the last time the Pistons won an NBA Finals, which is really recent when you consider there are 30 NBA teams and about seven of them have not won an NBA Finals in the NBA's 75 years. To begin, if you're a Pistons fan, I'm sure you can relate. In my case, I didn't start watching the NBA until 2008, which is ironically the last time the Pistons made it past the first round in the playoffs. In basketball, like many other sports, you're meant to be productive each year. Uh, this means doing one of the three things in the great circle of basketball. And no, I'm not talking about the ball. I mean the cycle. That might have been a better word. I'm talking about building, buying, and contending. Building can happen only after dismantling your roster. The idea is to trade your current players for either young players or draft picks. After a few years of this, probably some tanking, the team will be ready for the buying phase. Tanking means to intentionally lose so that your draft picks become better. A good example of this would be the Warriors. They got three All Stars through their draft and then ended up being able to contend with just those three players for a championship. A bad example would be the Cavs, who have messed up the number one pick many times in their years. The drafting system in the NBA works on a lottery system. 16 teams make the playoffs, and the other 14 make the lottery. The worse your team is, the higher their chance is for a better pick. Buying occurs after building and is often the quickest part of the cycle. Buying involves trading your young assets or your young players, your assets, and your picks for established good players to improve your team. Good example of this would be the Warriors, who signed Kevin Durant for their already stacked team and ended up winning another championship with him. A bad example would be the Nets, who traded for two aging All-Stars who ended up leaving afterwards. They traded many of their picks. Contending is the final step, and it's obviously the most important step, and the idea is to be there for as long as you can. A good example of this is the Bulls. I know you know Michael Jordan. He won two three-peats, that's 6 championships in about 8 years. A bad example of this would be the Suns, who have been in the NBA which is the longest team in the NBA to have not won an NBA championship. So in conclusion, it's fun to be a sports fan. The Pistons have had 3 championships in their time, which is more than many franchises. However, they have been in a nasty slump in my time of watching them. The reason I have given such a lengthy description of the cycle of basketball franchises is to illustrate just how exciting it is to be a Pistons fan right now. We are nearing the end of the building phase with our new GM, Troy Weaver. We've been lighting up the draft and making some stellar picks. For the first time in my life, it's exciting to support our home team, and I'm proud of how things are coming together.